Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My name is Zonos. I do plan to do a sort of introductory video to my channel at some point, but today I just wanted to go ahead and do a quick little tier list video of some anime that I've watched over the years that I think is underrated and doesn't get the attention I feel it should. Now, in my opinion, none of these animes are bad, even though I have S, A, B, C. I don't think any of these animes are bad. This is just comes to my personal taste at the end of the day. So, excuse the coughing and throat sounds. I'm still getting over a little sickness. I'll try to edit a lot of those sounds out as they happen, but some may still slip through. But to begin, the first anime I'm going to be talking about is Megalobox. Now, normally I am not into boxing or sports animes at all, but this is one I really think you guys should watch. It follows a character called Joe, and he's a boxer. But in this world, people do not box with just their bare hands. They have advanced equipment that gives them some kind of bonuses. So more strength, more speed. Equipment called gear that gives them certain advantages. Joe starts off in an underground arena throwing matches. But later he wants to aim for something bigger, something more serious. And so he fights to become an official boxer, but unlike the other boxers in the official stuff, he chooses to go without gear. And it is such a great story, great main character, great series. I think you guys should watch it. And I believe there's 2 seasons, 2 or 3 seasons out right now. So definitely a good watch. I'm going to have to put this one in S. Sorry. Second one, Licorice Recoil. Now, admittedly, my knowledge is a bit limited with this one. I haven't watched it in a long time, but from what I can remember, it follows these characters that are basically, I don't want to say super soldier, but they're basically super soldiers. Licorice Recoil is a program about girls that are highly trained killers and assassins. These two main characters get together, and it's just a good watch. I had to refresh my memory on it, but from what I remember, it is definitely a good watch. But like I said, none of these animes I think are bad. I'm just gonna put this one in C for now because there's not much that I remember about it. Oh, next up is Recreators. Now, honestly, this is one of my personal favorite animes of all time. A lot of people will not like it. I'm just going to say that there is a lot of talking in this series, especially when you get to this girl right here, Meteora. She talks a lot and explains a lot, but I think it does serve its purpose. So, anyway, the point of this story, this anime is there's this character, hard to see, she's right here, called Altair, and she's able to go into different animes and games and bring the characters to the real world. So it's like isekai, but different. Instead of our main character going to a different world, the fictional characters come to our world, and you can see the kind of problems that could come from that. They still have their powers and they do battle it out. There's two different sides. You have the sides where the creations that support Altair, and you have the sides the creations who side with the humans because Altair is trying to destroy the world. And honestly, if you like action, if you like good fights, if you like a stupidly overpowered character, I think it's one of the this is I think Altair is one of the strongest characters in all of anime, and that is no understatement. She does some really ridiculous things in the show. So if you like seeing that kind of stuff, definitely give this show a watch. Like I said, there's a lot of talking. It won't be for everybody, but I think it's a good watch. For me personally, S tier. Again, I just love it. The next one, though, this is one of my personal favorites. Now, I've seen a lot of comedy anime, and one of the best comedies that come to my mind is Prison School. But Grand Blue Fantasy, Grand Blue Dreaming, I'm sorry, Grand Blue Dreaming is one of the best comedies I've ever seen. And it also does things differently. Normally, when you see comedy and slice of life, you deal with middle school or high school things. And I get tired of that, man. I'm not in middle school anymore. I'm 30 years old. I want to see stuff that is more adult like, right? And that is this anime. This anime takes place in a college setting. So the characters drink a lot. They do a lot of adult jokes. You're going to see a lot of, for some reason, man butts. But don't let that turn you away from the show. It is a good watch. One of the funniest animes I've ever seen. Give it a watch. And again, I'm going to have to put this at S tier. This next one, though, Babylon. I still have mixed feelings about the show. On one hand, I like it a lot. On the other hand, I feel like the ending and the later half of it kind of tanks it a lot. Right? So you have this good, interesting premise of this. There's this supernatural theme that's going around on the show. You have the main character, Sasaki, who is investigating this case, a string of suicides, which may or may not be a murder, except that it is kind of both. You see, the main villain of this character has this supernatural ability where she's so sexually appealing that she could just convince anyone to do what she wants. Her case, though, she wants them to commit suicide. And suicide is a big, heavy topic of discussion in this anime. Now, I don't want to spoil too much. It gets into some very philosophical things about suicide and whether it should be legal or not. But it is a interesting story. But like I said, the later half does some things that I just do not like. And because of that, even though I think it's a good watch, I'm going to put it in C tier. So next up is Handyman Saito. Another isekai series. You know, it takes place in another world, of course. Fantasy world. Our character, as the name suggests, is a handyman. In fact, he's very good at what he does. He can fix multiple different things. He can cook, he can farm, he can do all that. And it's an interesting, fun, and calm slice of life anime. And if that's what you're looking for, this is a good watch. For me personally, it's not one of my personal favorites, but I did enjoy watching it. And just for that one, I'm just going to put that in the B tier. The next one is Razor Bahamut Genesis. I'm sorry. Now, again, this is one of those that I don't remember much of because I haven't watched it in a long time. But it follows our main character, this guy with the fro. That's another thing. I kind of still don't like his design, but he's a pretty good character. His name is Fabro. He's a bounty hunter. You know, taking on some bounties, and then him and this little partner here, they get wrapped up in some missions, right? And it involves angels, demons, and the female right here, actually a dragon named Bahamut. And I have to say, this one really surprised me. It turned out to be a lot better watch than I thought it was. It has an interesting art style too. And again, honestly, I may plan to rewatch this one. But because my knowledge is a bit limited of it, I just still know that I liked it a lot. I'm just going to put this in A tier. Gangsta. Next one is called Gangsta. Honestly, if you like Black Lagoon, you're going to like this a lot. It reminds me a lot of Black Lagoon. like a lot. There's definitely similar things between the two. And I think the author that made this was also a fan of Black Lagoon. It has that rundown town. It has these super soldiers like Nicholas. Nicholas is a super soldier. It's just a good fun watch and good fights. Unfortunately, though, the show there's only a few episodes and the show never got a continuation. And I think the manga doesn't got to have a continuation either, which is it's so sad. It's such a good show, so much potential, but it just ended very early. Um, Damn, very good watch. I don't know where I'll put it. I'm just going to put it for now, just because of the fact that there's not that many episodes out, and it kind of cuts short. I still recommend it. So the next one, Bungo Stray Dogs. Um, so ultimately, I didn't end up liking Bungo Stray Dogs. That first season, though, is a really, really tough one to get through. The comedy falls flat. And I don't think the show takes itself seriously, especially when the villains get introduced. Excuse me, Port Mafia. Dude, the way they get handled is such a pain to watch in the first season. But if you make it through season one, then you watch the other seasons, I will say that the show does get better. But for now, I'm just going to have to put it in A tier behind Gangsta. Next one up, Psychopaths. Again, this is kind of the opposite of Bungo Stray Dogs. Stellar first season, really dark stuff, really gruesome stuff. The story takes place in a dystopian future where AI runs literally everything except like your jobs. It's whatever you work at, AI determines where you work. And you can see the potential problems in this kind of society. It gets into some really dark things. There's a great villain, great main characters. But I will say the first season is the best. I do like the second season. I do like the second season's villain. But it is weaker than the first season. And the seasons after that just fall flat. So if you were to watch Psychopaths, I just recommend watching the first season and then maybe the second season. But the rest, they don't even exist. But for the first season alone, S tier easily. So, wrong way to use healer magic is next. Honestly, this one surprised me. I thought it was just going to be another generic isekai. In fact, the art style kind of gives that away. But it is actually a lot more enjoyable than I thought it would be. Of course, you got your stereotypical high school students. They get sent to another world, and they get magic powers. Two of them become a hero. One of them becomes a healer, which is our main character, who is a healer. But he doesn't heal normally like you think. He does and he does not. See, he has a captain named Rose who used to be Knight, and she definitely a heavy-handed fighter who she's honestly more of a frontline soldier now I think about it than anything, but she's strong and powerful and she can heal. And she kind of turns our main character into something similar to herself. She puts her through tough training, he gets strong, he can fight, and he turns out to be a good healer. Ultimately, it's a good watch, I think. I'm going to put it in the A tier. I like it. It's not S tier for me, but it's definitely a good watch. A tier. This next one, though, Vermeil and Gold. Now, again, normally I am not a fan of romance animes. I'm not, but this one is pretty good. Follows our main character, who this skinny boy right here in the front, who gets a magic grimoire that summons this demon chick right now, right there, named Vermeil. And they overcome some struggles with her being a demon and stuff, and they get into some fights, and just a Magic Academy kind of anime. Romance does build between the two as story goes on. In fact, I get jealous of it because I mean, look at her; she's freaking gorgeous. But yeah, this is just a nice romance anime, underrated. I feel like so. If you want to give another romance anime a chance, I recommend this one. It's not terrible. For me, it's going to be a B rank. But the last one out of this list of our underrated tier list is Killing Bites. Now, see, I'm not the animal kind of things I don't like all too often, but this is a good watch. It follows the story of these humans that get injected or experimented on, so they take on animal traits. So this guy's right here. It's a tiger. They have a lion. Our sort of main character here. Forget what kind of. I think she's like a honey badger or something like that. Basically, humans they get modified with animal parts. They get animal traits. They become superhumans, and then they basically duke it out. Kill each other, fight in a big tournament. That's pretty much the show. There is some fan service in this anime, because of course they have to throw that in. I'm not complaining, but again, if you like to see basically a battle royale type setting, good fights, good action, this would be your anime. But for me, as for what I would rank it, I just got to put it in a C rank. I feel like it could be better, but yeah, it just wasn't. But that's going to do it for me. Sorry for this quick video. Like I said, I plan to make a quick introductory video to my channel later on, but I just wanted to do something quickly so I could get something out there and get myself used to recording videos. So thank you for watching. If you watch, hope to see you again. Bye.